I leave Florida and I move to Denver. So I'm at this party. It's New Year's Eve, 1999 to 2000. One of the guys from the radio station was having a party at his house. My ex-girlfriend that had moved from Burlington, Vermont to Florida to Colorado with me, and a guy that worked at the radio station, his girlfriend, and we've been drinking a lot. Everybody is drunk, and the place is packed with people, most from the radio station, but other people that don't work at the radio station. And everybody's having a good time. The music is blaring, and we're getting ready for midnight. So in Florida, when you say, if somebody says, well, what are you, straight or gay? And you're like, well, I don't put a label on it. They're like, yeah, that's great. We love it. I'm in Denver, and I say, I don't put a label on it. They're like, you're gay? What? You're gay? So I had said something to that extent, and then all of a sudden, I guess talk started going all around the party that I was gay. And then my ex, who's my roommate, comes up to me and says, everybody thinks you're gay here. And I was like, what? And she's like, they're all talking about you being gay. So I'm like, I'm not. And then I wind up doing this big announcement. I yell, I go, I'm not gay. And then everybody just starts laughing, and all the people there are like, just be your truth. Be your truth. You're gay. You're gay. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not gay. And, the night ends, and I wake up the next morning horrified, and I get a phone call from my roommate as she's on her way to work. And she says, the whole city thinks you're gay. And I'm like, why would they think that? And she said, the morning show's on talking about you. I'm like, what? They're talking about me? And she says, yeah, they're talking about you. They went on the air, and they said somebody came out of the closet at the party on New Year's Eve. And the other guy says, oh, yeah, it's that guy that has the eyebrow ring that works in the afternoon. So I was sitting there thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I'd been in town like 2 months. I did not want to go on the air at all after that. I was like, I wanted to apply for other jobs. I was like, how do I get out of here? How do I deal with this? I wanted to call in sick, but I didn't. I went to work, as I do every day, really embarrassed, walked in, did my show expecting phone calls and expecting people to bash me, and nobody called and nobody brought it up. But all these questions going on through my head, not knowing about my sexuality and not knowing who I am, and nobody could give me advice. Nobody could help me. And I didn't know to go to a therapist, so I just lived with questions. And then in 2001, I have a relationship with the woman who becomes my wife. And I'm functioning as a normal heterosexual human being and in a loving relationship. And every once in a while, confiding in her about the questions I have. And she was very supportive. And every once in a while, especially when I would drink, it would come up. And anybody who partied with me in that era is going to know exactly what I'm saying right now because they experienced it. Every night that I went out and got drunk and blacked out, I woke up with extreme fear. What did I say? And I would call up and go, hey, everything all right? Pretty crazy night last night, wasn't it? Seeing if I talked about my sexuality. Because I always had a tendency when I got drunk to talk about it. And, you know, sometimes I would discuss it with some people. And other times it didn't happen. So, but at this point, I'm living the life. I'm married, and then I have 2 sons, and I'm functioning in a relationship, and I feel good about it. But I don't think that the sex life was great for my ex-wife. I think she wanted more than I could give. And I took my ownership for that when the relationship ended. I called her and I told her like that I understand why this relationship ended, because I was not there emotionally. I was not there physically. It was at that time, for whatever reason, when I start to build emotions for somebody, it's harder for me to have sex with them. I can have sex with somebody when it's just sex, but when I really start to love them, it's very challenging for me to have sex with them. And that was very evident in my marriage. That was very evident in every relationship that I had after that, because I would always wonder, why was the sex life so good and then now it's bleh. And in the past week, peeling back the layers, I figured out, for whatever reason, when I develop emotions and love is involved, it's hard for me to have the sexual connection. So after I get divorced, I have random, meaningless relationships until about 2013, and then I get into a serious relationship, and all of the challenges are going on full force, where, yes, the beginning, sex life amazing, then it gets downhill, then we break up, then we get back together, sex life is amazing, and then we start dating again, and then it goes downhill. And it's an absolute roller coaster ride. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I made the video, the promo, my coming out video. And then all of the messages that came in congratulating me on coming out of the closet. I felt I needed to explore my sexuality before I did any show on this podcast, because I owe it to everybody that wrote me a beautiful message that I need to talk about who I am, because I have a struggle. And I researched hour after hour after hour on who I am. I peel back the layers. I literally recapped my entire life sexually. And I wanted to make sure I had an answer by the day I taped this podcast about who I am sexually, because I want to help people. I don't want anybody to think they're alone, think they're a freak, and think that they're crazy or a kook or whatever. Because I thought that for so long, and there are so many people that go through what I go through. but nobody has really ever voiced it because of embarrassment. And everything I said today is stuff that I would never, ever have admitted until now. But I'm so secure in who I am now. And I'm here to be your voice. If you're feeling insecure, if you're questioning who you are, you're not alone. There's many of us out there. And I'm living proof. I'm 52 years old. And I hope that you don't have to wait till you're 52 to figure out who you are. So I would say on the spectrum of sexuality, I would be heteroflexible. Heteroflexible male is somebody who's not necessarily straight and not gay. It's somebody who predominantly has sex with women. If you're a male, if you're a heteroflexible male, you predominantly have sex with women. But you could have sex with men from time to time, or have emotional relationships with men. Now, I haven't had sex with men. I've only had sex with women. But I have had emotional relationships with men. Maybe more emotional relationships with men than I've had with women. And I saw this great psychologist describing people who were heteroflexible, because he has a lot of men that come in and they have lots of questions. Like I had questions. Am I gay? Am I straight? Am I bi? What am I? And he said, the true test is when you go to a beach. The man that was speaking, the therapist, was gay. And he said, when I go to a beach and I see women, I'm like, you're getting in the way. I want to see men. Get out of the way. And if you go to the beach and you're attracted to men, you're gay. If you go to the beach and you're attracted to women, you're not gay. But that doesn't mean that you're straight, because you still could be heteroflexible. Now, a heteroflexible is somebody who is predominantly going to have straight sex, but every once in a while, they'll have sex. Now, it's not because they're attracted to men. They're just having sex with men. And that's the biggest misconception that a lot of people have. They say, well, if you have sex with men, you're automatically gay or bi. That's not the case. You can be straight and have sex with men. You're not having sex with them because you're attracted to them. You're just having sex with them. Now, I haven't gone to that extent yet, but I have had emotional relationships with men and only had sex with women. So I am labeling myself as a heteroflexible man. And the first time I heard the term ever was when I recorded my video a couple of weeks ago. And my friend called me from Palm Springs. He is a big broadcaster in the gay community. And I've known him for years. And he said, Vaughn, you have a pink microphone, a pink set, and you're wearing a pink shirt. Are you coming out as queer? And I said, no, I don't know what I am. And I started talking to him, and he's like, you sound like you're a heteroflexible person. And I'm like, okay. And I thought he just made up the term. And then when I did all my research, I was like, oh, okay, this is a real community, and these are real people. And they're people that are just like me, that aren't necessarily straight, but they aren't gay. So for the first time in my 52 years, I actually feel like I belong. I am a heteroflexible man, and I'm proud. And I hope you will accept me for who I am.